Hi, I'm Bonnie, and I'm here with today's 15-minute writing prompt to get your pencils writing, your fingers typing. Let's get creative. And today's 15-minute writing prompt is sleeping. You get a phone alert, gunshots are firing, police helicopters, lights. And with this prompt, you can go any direction you choose. This is the direction I chose to go with: sleeping, phone alert, gunshots firing, police helicopters, and lights. The night was never quiet. Damon slept snugly in his bed, nestled in the corner. A small apartment with a bathroom stall and a kitchenette. A studio was the only option that he had. Money was tight in the apartment. Well, let's just say it was tight too. Buzz, buzz. Damon's phone began buzzing next to him. Damon never remembered to put his phone back on the charger at night. Recently, he had become addicted to playing Wordscape's cross game till he passed out every night. Damon cracked his right eye open to try and make out what the alert was for. Another missing child alert. It was the third time this week. Gunshots fired outside his window. Damon's reaction was one he had repeated a few times already in the 3 short months since he had moved here. Police sirens and lights flashed outside his window. Looking down at his phone, not bad, only 4 minutes. I think that's a new record. Around here, the police never seemed to show up in a decent time, but the fact that there were gunshots, they were quick. The city made a push against crime, and now it seemed like those were the only calls they cared enough to show up on time to. Damon crawled back onto his bed and slipped his feet into his slippers. Maybe I should look out the window. Damon eased his way towards the window. There was a red Corvette and 2 guys on the ground. 6 cops and all their guns were drawn and pointed toward the men with their arms, legs, and hands stretched out on the pavement. Damon listened intently but didn't dare interfere. It was only 1 floor down. Damon felt relief when he thought about how he almost took a first-floor apartment, and now he was sure that his little studio was definitely the better option of the two. He couldn't have afforded the bigger apartment on the first floor anyways, and having a roommate wasn't ideal to Damon. More lights appeared. A police helicopter rumbled above the street. Lights filled the apartment, and Damon knew getting sleep tonight would be too much to ask for. Damon peered from the corner of the window behind the curtains. Curtains were the first thing he put up in the apartment. Privacy was a priority for Damon. After moving from a small town with nosy neighbors and gossip in the gas stations, being in a city was a dream come true. Even though there were people packed in like sardines, so far it seemed like everyone minded their own business. Friendly, but not too friendly. Not like his hometown. If someone saw you on the street, they had to come over and talk some more. Not here. You know you're good by a simple head nod. People here are always on the move, making moves, trying to come up. The hustle here. Everyone has one and everyone's on it. A quick buck and a dream that was unlikely. But that 1 in a million shot, that's what Damon was here for. He only needed to make one big connection and he knew his idea would take off. But so far, he was barely able to make a handful of useful connections. 3 months and he hadn't even found a full-time job. Damon dialed his bank constantly, monitoring the balances, sometimes up to 5 times a day. With the access numbers and passcodes, he didn't have to listen to the phone prompts. His fingers moved across the screen quickly and accurately. Damon shifted money from account to account as if the balances would just grow on their own. Sometimes when he felt really low, he would transfer lump sums of money into his checking from savings to feel better. It never did. The police disappeared and Damon couldn't sleep. The best thing about a city like this: all-night coffee shops. He pulled his joggers on and a t-shirt, grabbed his bag and a baseball cap. With a click of the door, he moved at a moderate pace. Once his feet hit the sidewalk and blood started pumping him, he moved quickly through the streets. One thing he learned was walk with a purpose. You were less likely to be bothered if you walked intently than casually. Daytime wasn't so bad, but at night things did seem to happen more frequently. At least that was Damon's experience so far, but the coffee shop was only 6 blocks away and he had begun to know the neighborhood better after the last few months of his exploration around the area. Black coffee is what he wanted and had become his survival tool. He confronted him and gave him the energy he needed to function. Coffee was his latest lifestyle choice. Damon had never had the desire to drink coffee before, but with a new life comes new lifestyles. The coffee shop had become his favorite place. Damon loved to sit in the booth with his tablet and pen, listening to the awkward, unfiltered, entertaining stories and situations people talked about out loud. But would the kiddies in his old town have a field day? Sometimes Damon would bust out a laugh out of nowhere and people would stare at him for a moment, then go about whatever they were doing. The hours ticked pass like moments. The sun was coming up and the diner's atmosphere changed. The move along. The waitress from behind the counter wiped the end of the booth's top. You almost done, honey? She said as she scurried to the next table. Yep, thanks. Damon placed a $5 bill under the edge of his empty coffee mug and made his way out the door, which had become a maze swirling and dodging around, the buzzing phones and coffee cups being juggled. The night was definitely a better place to be in the coffee shop for Damon. Today he would prepare for a presentation in front of the hiring manager for a position at the art gallery. With a degree in ceramics, it was an ideal job. Damon's true passion was drawing pictures to the crazy stories he would write. Everyone at home said it would take him nowhere but here. Opportunities making his mark. Buzz, buzz, a message popped up on the phone screen. I'm sorry, I need to reschedule. I have an emergency. Damon sighed. I guess I have a free day. Things seem to happen more than Damon liked to admit. Just some odd, dumb luck. An uphill battle he knew would be rocky. Damon trudged back to the apartment and locked the door, staring into the little apartment, lost in a daze. Standing in the doorway for a few moments, entranced. You okay, man? The guy a few doors down yelled. I'm fine. Damon came back, shocked that someone even spoke to him. It was another guy in his mid-20s. You new around here? Yes, a few months. You play video games? I used to, but I don't have any around here. You want to hang out? We can order a pizza. Come on, man. You can't be the loner forever. If you change your mind, just knock. I'll be here all... The stranger disappeared into their apartment. Damon closed the door behind him and contemplated the idea. What harm could it do? Damon turned around and headed for the neighbors. Maybe a friend would be nice. Damon knocked on the door. The stranger opened the door. I guess I will hang out. By the way, what's your name? Mark. I've been here 2 years now. Welcome to the building. And so that is what I took from today's writing prompt. Sleeping, phone alert, gunshots firing, police, helicopters, and lights. This is a 15-minute writing prompt. I did do this prompt in 20 minutes. I was going. I don't know where I was going, but I was going. So I hope you enjoy the prompt and get creative on your take on sleeping, phone alert, gunshots firing, police, helicopters, lights. Oh, it's Wednesday. So have a great day and keep writing, my friends. See you tomorrow.